Something I've been learning lately is that, I used to think that God chases us in the beginning stages, like when He wants the relationship with us. And that was something that was thinking and noticed like at the beginning, like when I first like came to a full surrenderance unto God. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, God, like you came for me. But now it's like been a year and almost 2 years, maybe a little over, since it was like towards the end of like 2021. But like, whew, you guys, I've come to the realization that God is a constant pursuer. Like, He doesn't just pursue us and get missing. Like, He's constantly coming for us, constantly, pursuing us, constantly putting in time and love and effort into loving us and keeping us. Like, God is a lover that actually is committed, like faithful. Like, He doesn't just do a little bit of the work and get missing like people do, but He actually constantly shows up in His best and pours in and says the right thing at the right time and sends the right people in the right word, or has you open the scripture or send you a right song, or like you see a billboard or something that reminds us of how much He loves us. He's a constant pourer. He's a constant giver, and He's constantly a lover of our soul. He never stops pursuing. He never stops encouraging. He never stops like investing. And that's something that I learned, like even as I will go through another like test or a trial or something, I like realize, like when I look back, like wow, like all this that God has done in my life in such a short amount of time. And then I look at where I am now and I realize like He's still just as present as in the beginning stages. Like He doesn't fade and get missing. Like He's still a pursuer, and He continuously is trying to uplift you and keep you out of bondage and from going back to Egypt, the land that He had, saved us from. And it just, I was just thinking, like, wow, God, like how you don't let your children slip and fall, like how you don't let them relapse, because you're constantly present. Like you're constantly present, and you give such a grace of where, like, we, are able to move forward. Yeah, maybe think about the past, but like also understanding nothing is there, because He's constantly pursuing and showcasing the new and encouraging to move forward, like just encouraging His people and His children, like to keep moving forward, that better is ahead. Like He's a constant lover, a constant pursuer, a constant investor. Like He never stops pursuing. And that is something that I've learned. He never stops doing the work to keep us. Like He never stops doing the work to where, we start to feel like, we're not enough, because He will constantly remind us and lead us to scripture of like who we are. Like He's a constant lover. And that's just something that I wanted to say. Like, and no matter how new the relationship is, no matter how old it is, God is always fresh. He's always showing up in a new way and always trying to like reinvent us and reconstruct us to better. And He does not leave. He is a constant lover, and He loves beautifully and effortlessly. Like He makes you want to continue to grow and change. Like He makes you want to become a better version of yourself, because of how much He loves you and how good He loves you. Like that's another thing. This is why people can't change people. It's because God is such a perfect lover, that like He loves you as you, and then encourages you of who you are, and tells you what's bad for you, yet encourages you for who you are, and tells you all these plans and dreams and visions He has for you and what He wants for you. And because it's all out of love, and He gives you the desire to want that, it's like you want to just continue to grow. You want to continue to put the work in and be better because he has the grace to change you and he knows how to change you. And everything stems from love and pure love. Like he doesn't give like an ultimatum. Like he allows you to fall and dust you off to get back up. Like I was having a conversation with a friend the other day and I was like, God is like when you are like at a wreck and you're like and you're on the floor curled up in a ball and you are crying and you're going through it. Like God is the kind of lover where he will stretch out his wing and his hand and just slide you back in and cover you and protect you from the world and then love on you, heal you, continue to pour into you and fix you. And then when you're ready, he lifts up his wings so you can go back out into the world. But he is such a gentle lover, such a beautiful lover. Like that is the kind of God that we serve, that when we make mistakes, like he still loves us through the mistakes. He still loves us through the mistake. He still has patience through the mistakes. He still pours in even through the mistakes. Like, and he sees the good and he does not spew at us in his anger and say, you good for nothing or whatever the case is. Like, he just continues to show up in love and continues to pour in. And I think people sometimes get it mixed up. Like, in order to change somebody, you can't just attack them, but you also, need to like I won't even say also. What you need to do is love them, create a safe environment for them, like love them, tell them what you see in them, tell them who they are, like pour in, like don't just always tell somebody the negative about them, but also encourage them and like love them, like genuinely love them unconditionally. I think people stay in relationships when they're not at like the peak of its wonderfulness, when they understand that like the person's not just gonna walk away, the person's not just gonna cut you off, the person's not just gonna like up and leave, but like they understand like this person is here for the long haul and they're like, I can change and I have the time to change because this is a safe place and because this person loves me so good, I want to change. And I think another thing is too is like to go to God and to say, God, help me to hear clearly what it is that you're saying through this person so that this, Leviathan and what is the other one? The Python spirit doesn't take what they're saying and twist up their words. And now everything feels like an attack when somebody is saying like, when you said this, it made me feel like such and such, that they actually have the patience and the gentleness and the kindness to explain. Like love is building, and that is one of the beauties in like having God love you, is that like he's into building with you, like, and he's like, time is in his hands. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a redeemer of love, a redeemer of time, like a redeemer from like all the mistakes you made. Like he's able to give you recompense for that. He's able to make it like that 5 years you wasted, like, and now it's 5 years later, like he gives you that 5 years like in a day, in a second. And then, he's already, and then he like advances you even more. So it's not even you're starting where you were. It's like you take that, but he also thrusts you forth. And like, man, like God is a consistent lover, a consistent chaser, a consistent investor. He pursues and he pursues to win, right? He's the author, like, and finisher of our faith. Like, he's faithful to continue and to complete the work unto Jesus Christ. Like, God has the time for you. And he's also, like, in love. And he knows he doesn't want another. That's why he gives us so many mistakes. I mean, not mistakes. He gives us so many chances through our mistakes and with our mistakes. Like, he truly is a lover of our soul. If you guys don't know Jesus, like I advise you to call on his name and say, show me who you are. Like, show me. because there is no love like the love that the Lord has for us. He's a constant pursuer and a constant lover, and it only gets more and more beautiful with time because you're able to see more and more clearly who he is. All right, you guys, I'm out. Bye.